you, piggies. Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods homestead, y'all. Piggies came out the other day, and I hadn't been back in the farrowing barn since. They are loving their newfound freedom running around out here in the woods. But y'all, what we're doing is we were intended on feeding pigs in the farrowing barn to keep those piglets running in, but y'all, that really hadn't happened yet, but they will. But for now, what we're doing is just feeding Rosie and Dixie in this old section where we used to train these young pigs to electric. The electric's off in here. Found that out the hard way. Should have turned it off before I even turned any pigs in here yesterday. I'll tell you why here in just a second. But guys, we appreciate you stopping in here at the Piney Woods homestead. Y'all hit that like and subscribe if you hadn't. And if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. Y'all, these are the cutest pigs. These are the best looking pigs we have had, and we've said that on other litters, but we have finally gotten to that purebred genetic Hereford line that we've been looking for 4 years since we started breeding. Y'all, pigs look great. I was nervous about turning them out. You always are, because they look like they're big until you put them out there with the other ones, and then they look small again. But they're doing good, and they were starting to eat a little bit a hog pellet inside of the farrowing barn. But now that they're right here just rooting around, still nursing on Rosie. But they'll go back to eating some of that creep feed. But y'all, what happened was these pigs, I kind of shooed them in there with Dixie yesterday, and I had forgotten or neglected to turn the electric off inside of that little training area. And so a couple of them hit the fence, kind of went crazy, and Dixie went a little berserk, and not to the point that anybody did anything crazy to get hurt, but it just startled them. So now it's going to take them another day or two before they'll go back in there. Once you get hit with that electric, they don't want to touch that stuff again. And y'all, we do still have some juice on. We got one little wire on the inside here, on the inside of those hog panels, so they can hit that. You've got to start training these pigs to electric as soon as you turn them out of a farrowing barn. And the reason for that is you don't want them running through your woven wire, or if you are trying to just do them with just electric, which we don't recommend, they're going to run through it, y'all, if they're not trained to it. That's why it's a good idea to have that positive barrier behind it, especially as you're training new pigs, so that they can't run through it and get out of your pasture. That's part of the reason. Y'all, there's other reasons. I'll go ahead and just tell you real quick. Coyotes, they'll want to dig underneath the fence, but they're not going to dig under this one. Never have. Never even seen that the evidence of them trying to do it, because they'd hit that hot wire, y'all, and that's high tensile steel on the bottom. So, and I'm thinking it's like 11 kilovolts running through this fence, so it's a lot of heat. And so we've not had any problem with ground type predators. The only predators that we have seen in the woods out here that we'd be concerned about would be owls, the big owls, like can't remember what you call that type of owl, one of the biggest ones. We've got them around here. And bald eagles. We've seen both of those in the pasture, but y'all, these pigs are probably 15 pounds or so, pushing 20, a couple of them. It's gonna be harder for that raptor to pick them up and take them out. Plus, I'm gonna tell you, I think I swallowed a bug. That's not what I was gonna tell you, but I believe that Rosie is acting like these are her babies. They have taken right to her, and it's really been good because now there's 2 protectors in here with these pigs. But there is a drawback to it, and that is trying to creep feed these piglets separated from Rosie and Dixie. You just got 2 big hogs in here, and it's kind of a challenge, but we're making it work, y'all. None of this is an exact science. You learn by trial and error. Y'all, if you are new to pigs, and that's why you're watching this video, feed your sow as much as she wants to eat when she is milking, nursing these babies, because it's a lot of strain on them, and you want to keep your sow in good milk production. And Dixie has good milk production, y'all. But she's eating right now probably 15, 16 pounds of good hog feed every single day. And you want to make sure they get that good nutrient, y'all. A lot of people will tell you, you can go to the discount bread store, feed them stuff like that. Don't do it, y'all. Don't be tempted to feed them something that you wouldn't be feeding yourself. Put it that way. You want to make sure that your sow's getting all the nutrient that she needs to keep producing milk, because y'all, even with just 6 healthy piglets, they will draw that sow down. In other words, she will lean up fast if you're not feeding her enough. So you want to make sure that you would rather have some food left over at the end of the day in the pan than not have any at all. So we've done our best to keep her in all the feed that she wants. And y'all, once these piglets are weaned, she'll go back. She will go back to that 5-pound ration a day of splitting between whole kernel corn and good hog feed. So that's a good sign, y'all. One little piggy just came in and starting to eat some of that feed. I scattered some corn and some hog pellet right there at this entryway coming into this small section here. And y'all, if we are not able to get these piglets to go back up into the farrowing barn to eat, that's no problem, because we still have this structure out here in place where we used to contain them once they were weaned in order to train them to electric. So it's no big deal. We can feed them in here, and when it comes time to separate them from Dixie at 8 weeks, we'll just shut the door. I had the pigs in here, Dixie be in her area, and then we can sort these pigs as needed to get them into the topping area or to get them sold to people that are wanting a couple of pigs this year. So y'all, this is going to work out just fine. Y'all, I thought since we were down here taking care of the pigs, we'd just step on down to the garden real quick and show you what Lisa and I have been doing the past day or so to get this garden ready for some fall crops as well as cover cropping. We came down the other evening and pulled out this 125-foot row of indeterminate tomatoes. There was still plenty of green tomatoes, smaller ones on the vines, but y'all, we have just been covered up in tomatoes for weeks and weeks now, and we've put up all that we need. We've sold, I think, all that people want, and so it's time to pull them up because they do start to get disease, a whole lot of different kind of bug pressure this time of the year. You can probably hear, I guess that'd be cicadas. Well, they're not bothering the plants, but there's other types of bugs, y'all, this time of the year. They just seem to come out of the woodwork to start eating on stuff. But stuff's looking pretty good, y'all, that we planted. I don't know if the camera's picking it up right here, but we do have some green along the rows. And y'all, I don't know how well this fall cropping is going to do that we replanted once again. The collards look pretty good down there. Cabbages are up. They're looking pretty decent. But y'all, you just don't ever know. It's a gamble, y'all. This time of the year, we have more success in our raised beds. I guess we just have more control doing things like that. So a lot of the crops that Lisa is planning on, that she has seedlings started for, We'll go in the raised beds up near the house. I think we have 10 of them up there now. And she'll be able to do a whole lot of stuff, y'all. Broccoli, turnips, kale, more collards, things of that nature. But y'all, stuff's looking good. Even our succession squash plantings that we have done are looking pretty good, y'all. Not as good as it does in the spring. I think just the extreme heat is supposed to be like 100 degrees today. It was 100 yesterday on the outside thermometer. I think it just kind of plays on stuff, y'all. But the bees are still out here active. Bumblebees, honeybees, working on stuff. So we'll be setting some fruit, especially on squash. So it's not like everything's looking bad down here. There's plenty of stuff still growing in the garden. Lisa and I spent yesterday about 10 hours hauling logs, and you might think, well, there's 4 loads of logs here off of the dump trailer. You think 10 hours for 4 loads. Well, it was kind of a ways we had to go. It was a lot clearing job that myself and the Bland Man had done several weeks ago, and I worked out a deal with the owner to mill some of his timber and do some halves on it. So got a lot more to go get, but she rode with me yesterday, and y'all, by the time we got done, both of us were pretty saddle sore. Riding in a ton truck, hauling logs on roads that the state didn't appear to have maintained in like 30 years. So it's beating and banging and trying to avoid potholes. It's ridiculous. I'm starting to wonder, where exactly do our tax dollars go? Because I'm pretty sure it's not to new pavement. Not on secondary roads anyways. I don't know if y'all can hear that. The thing about yellow pine, or probably any pine, once you have felled it and you got it on a log deck to start working it, the bugs will start working it before you can. And what you're hearing is a type of wood boring beetle. They'll get in there and just start eating all that sugary stuff on the back side of the bark. And then they'll bore into the wood. So probably what I'll do before I've got to deck all this stuff today with the excavator, get it onto log decks. I'll come on out here and I'll give it a misting of a boric acid solution that prevents bugs from wanting to do that. It'll just kind of slow down the process, because y'all, this is a lot of lumber that I've got to mill, and it's going to cool off. So we'll try to treat it just a little bit. I'll do that today. Whiskers has come down here. I don't know if you can see her. She's come down here begging for me to feed her, because I hadn't fed her yet. And normally Lisa does that, but she's ran off to see her mom and dad today. Not ran off, she's gone over to see her mom and dad this morning and check on them and her 92-year-old grandfather, maybe 90. She'll have to correct me on that. He's had a few health challenges, but he's doing pretty good, so she's gonna go visit with them a little bit. While I sweat out here, actually not gonna sweat, I'm getting on the excavator in the air conditioning, throwing some music on the radio and getting all these logs decked. Guys, y'all have a good day, a great week. Lord willing, the creek don't rise too high. We'll be back with another video in a few days, hopefully doing something a little bit more entertaining and show you a new project here on the homestead. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.